Arizona's major utilities are investing in a multi-billion-dollar project to build a natural gas pipeline from Texas to Arizona's major population centers. The goal, according to the chief executive of APS, is to meet the looming demand of data centers and semiconductor plants powering the AI revolution. We're digging into the plan, what it means for the economy, ratepayers, and all of us as residents of this desert state. Joining us is Seiden. He is President and Chief Executive Officer of the Arizona Chamber of Commerce and Industry. The trade group represents Arizona businesses, including the utilities behind this project. Welcome back to Square Off.
Thanks for having me on, Bram.
So Phil Boas of the Arizona Republic says it's the biggest untold story. What is untold and why does this matter?
Right now in the competition for jobs and growth amongst the states, the number one issue now is power, without a doubt. Number two is probably labor and talent, but right now all the conversation is about power. Does your state have the power and energy generation needed to really power the growth, to keep your lights on, to keep your ACs on, to keep your factories going? We've seen states do this wrong, like California and Texas. So this pipeline shows that our utilities, along with Transwestern, who's the company who's building this $5.3 billion pipeline from Texas, are thinking about the future and thinking about reliable and affordable ways to keep our lights on in Arizona.
Now, there's that piece of it, the consumer, the average homeowner's part of it, but APS's CEO told industry analysts there are a large number of potential customers, data centers, semiconductor plants perhaps, that are waiting to see if Arizona can meet their energy demand. That seems to be the largest chunk of this, where the biggest need is.
That's just where a lot of growth is happening right now. Data centers are historically large power users, so we have to be able to point to where we're going to get the generation of energy to meet those demands. But right now, natural gas is nearly half of all of our energy generation in Arizona as it is. So this supplies that going into the future. And again, I just want to say data centers sometimes can get a really bad name for it's high power, high water, no jobs. It's just not correct. They're a vital part of the semiconductor ecosystem, of the AI ecosystem. The more investments you get from data centers, it tends to lead to the things like the TSMC $165 billion and all those jobs that come with it.
Now APS is involved in this, Tucson Electric?
It is.
SRPs?
Yep.
Salt River Project, all
our major utilities are involved, and it's exciting, and the administration, I'm told, is excited about this too, because this goes in line with their goal of bringing back and onshoring all of our manufacturing and supply chain, and pointing to where you can get your energy from is a big win for us. It's a big win for America and our state.
Does this need state regulators' approval?
Portions of it might, depending on where the pipeline comes through, but we expect all that to go smoothly. We know that natural gas, again, it burns cleaner, it has minimal environmental impacts, and in pipelines like this, they've gotten very sophisticated about where they move it through to disrupt the environment as little as possible.
Now, data centers are water guzzlers, energy guzzlers, that's undeniable. What is the average demand of a data center, say, in terms of, in the equivalent of a number of homes?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I know you're not a utility.
Yeah, no, I appreciate the question. No, it's quite high. One data center is neighborhoods and neighborhoods of homes. But again, you got to keep in mind that a data center, if you look at what Tucson Council just voted against, Project Blue, as we heard, a $3 billion data center for AWS, Amazon, one of our state's largest private employers, that $3 billion translates to hundreds of millions of dollars to that local community for school districts, for fire, for police, for essential services. So again, data centers are high property taxpayers. They're an essential part of our economy and our community. And again, we can meet the needs. We just need leadership. We need a regional plan when it comes to data centers to say, this is where they're going to go. Other states have done this well. Arizona needs to as well.
So allay those concerns. Tucson City Council rejected this. There was a huge outcry against it. People are concerned about the water, the energy, the heat. How do you explain it? How do you allay those concerns?
Again, I would point to the fact of there's a lot of anti-growth movement happening in our state. We talked about this with Axon last time I was on your show. We've seen residents getting very much in the mindset of like, I don't want growth anywhere near me. I don't want there to be changes. And it's not that different when you look at what happened in Tucson City Council. The neighborhood got together and decided, without even, I think, fully understanding the facts of where the power would come from. A lot of these data centers use recycled water. It's not going to impact their water use at all. And again, some of these data centers are even willing to invest in energy generation products. So, the community should be lucky to have things like that. And when they don't have growth and when they vote down their taxes, the real question is, where's Tucson going to get revenue from going forward? They're not voting for taxes. They're not voting for growth. That's how cities die.
It's a tax argument largely because the jobs these deliver aren't very large. In construction, yes, but once the plant starts running, it's not a huge amount of jobs.
No, not in the data center itself, but if you look at data centers that have come to Arizona, Bram, and gotten their foot in the door, it has led to major brands. I'm talking Apple, I'm talking Meta, Google. That has led to other jobs, high-paying jobs coming to Arizona. It's all part of our ecosystem.
What's this going to cost ratepayers?
Right now, nothing. It's being financed by Transwestern, and until it comes online, we won't know more about what the cost will be to ratepayers. But again, if you're a ratepayer and you see natural gas coming in, you're smiling because it's good for your pocketbook. Natural gas is cheap, it's reliable, and again, until the other technologies there and things like solar and the intermittables, natural gas is a great bridge for energy generation.
So can't say for sure how much this will cost ratepayers.
Right now, nothing, but yeah.
Once it comes online, which would be when?
Some projections have it in 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
That's pretty soon.
I'm very ambitious on that, but yeah, it could be a little bit later. Again, as you mentioned, depends on regulators and permitting.
So bigger picture, this all comes at a time when the Trump administration plans to roll back all climate regulations. Here in Arizona, the Corporation Commission is going to roll back renewable energy requirements. Do your members support that?
What our members have a duty to, whether you're talking about the utilities or the ratepayers, we are the largest ratepayers in the state, is they owe their customers, they owe their ratepayers, a duty to get them reliable and affordable energy. And, we can't be held hostage by the political whims of this past administration or the next administration. They need long-term planning. They need reliable guidance on where people want to see things go. And I think that's what our utilities are doing. They're being adaptive. The Corporation Commission is being adaptive to what the market demands are. And honestly, what the technology it has developed, it's not cheap or affordable or even good for the environment to build wind and solar all over the place right now. We're not there. It's, again, if you overinvest too much in that, you have blackouts like you do in California, rolling browns like you do in Texas.
But here's the moment we're in. The first 25 years of this century have been the hottest in Arizona, and I think the world. Utilities are breaking demand records. Every year for the last decade, our water supply gets more and more precarious. And here we are bringing in a big water guzzler, energy guzzler. Does that make sense? And shouldn't our future generations, our kids and kids' be concerned about this?
I think our future generations and kids' are concerned about having jobs, having an economy where they can go to work, being able to afford houses,
not
to afford energy.
Our state, this country getting hotter and hotter.
And Bram, as you pointed out, the whole world has gotten hotter, and that's a whole nother show and a whole nother segment on some of those numbers and statistics. But you know what happens in Arizona? Our ACs stay on, our power stays running, our factories stay running. And they do that at one of the top reliable, with one of the most reliable grids in the country, and also with one of the most affordable costs of energy too. We're top half for that as well. So we're doing a really good job in Arizona, and that's what my members like, and I think that's what ratepayers like.
But big picture, climate, it's going to get hotter, and water might get more scarce.
Well, we've been more efficient with water. As you know, we use less water now than we did in the 1950s despite growth. So I think we're doing very well with water. We're probably the best state in the country for it. And on power, technology is going to continue to advance. Eventually, the battery storage will be there for solar. Eventually, things will come along. But right now, we're doing what makes sense for our pocketbooks and honestly, what does have the most minimal impact on the environment. Natural gas is a low-emission form of generation.
Got to end it there. Danny Seiden, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.